Hey, what is going on, road trippers? Road Trip Nate here, once again. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, as those all-important captions at the top stated, I'm gonna do my 15 favorite, in no order, attractions that I've visited up to this point in my life. I can't really rank these because I'm like, I don't know how I would rank them. But here are the 15 attractions that I've enjoyed the best so far in my life. Let's get in there. Coming in, just first off, I just wrote all these down, so they're not in any order, but the 15 that I've enjoyed the most so far. Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis, Missouri. I've been to Anheuser-Busch 3 times. Once when I was a young teen, and I've done the tour 3 times. Once when I was a young teenager. Obviously I couldn't drink. The last 2 times I was of legal age. They give you like 2 free sample cards that you can use throughout the trip, throughout the tour, and then you get to buy a beer or 2 at the bar. Me and my buddy Kenny, we made a 45-minute walk from the hotel the last time I stayed there, or I went there. We made a 45-minute trek from our hotel walking to the Anheuser-Busch brewery. And got to see, the entire process, which is pretty cool to see from a brewing company, that they'll show you their brewing entire process from brewing to packaging. So I thought that was pretty cool. The beach at Dauphin Island. The first and only time I've ever been to the beach was back in 2016, when me and my family, we went in July, I believe, 2016, down to Dauphin Island. I go head first into the water, and I get a mouthful of water, and it's like, holy crap, the seawater is salty. It's a lot worse than I thought it would be. Our resort we stayed at was the first and only time me and my dad have stood on a balcony and smoked cigars together. First and only time I've ever been into a sauna. I'm like, I can't stay in here more than just a few minutes. I can't breathe. And I got lost in the parking lot trying to go to a bar next door. But it was a fun time, spending a week with the family at the beach. I fell in love with the beach. And I'm wanting to go back eventually. Maybe try a new beach, maybe not. I don't know. Eventually one of these days I'll go back. But my first and only time at the beach, it was fun. I still have Dauphin Island sand in a Corona bottle. Moving on. The U of A. The U of A is home to my favorite team of any sport, collegiate or pro, because they represent my home. Talking about the University of Arkansas. I've been to games at the three big sports stadiums that the U of A has. Baum Stadium, Bud Walton Arena, and DWR, Razorback Stadium. I've been to the football games twice, I've been to numerous basketball games, and I've been to Baum Stadium for a baseball game once. U of A has a nice campus. And just right next door is a college bar hopping scene that I've been to numerous times. It's on Dixon Street. It's a bunch of college bars. But the U of A, they have a very nice campus. Their stadiums are nice. And this is just my opinion. I'm a homer, I know. But to me, it's just they represent my home. My home area is Northwest Arkansas. The Arkansas Razorbacks represent home. The NASCAR race at Kansas Motor Speedway. Me and my buddy Kenny, during COVID-19, we went to the NASCAR race there in Kansas Motor Speedway. First and only NASCAR race I've ever been to. And I had to freaking buy earplugs. Big old earmuffs. Well, let me show you. If I can find it. Let's see here. Well, eventually we'll get to it. Oh, there we go. That was me back at the Kansas Motor Speedway back in 2020. It was, I don't remember if it set the record for the coldest race NASCAR's ever had, but it was definitely the coldest race they've had in quite a while. And of course, during COVID-19, you had to wear your masks, and back in 2020. But yeah, I'm sitting there with my Arkansas Razorback mask on, my Arkansas beanie, and my Arkansas hoodie. I've got that race on video, if y'all want to go check that out from back in 2020. But it was my first and only time ever going to a NASCAR race. So it was pretty cool. It was a fun time. Continuing on with the Kansas City area, the Power and Light District in Kansas City, Missouri. This is one of my favorite bar hopping areas because it's a big old square outdoor area that has bars on 2 floors, and they have a concert stage. They have Kansas City Live which is, I believe, a Fox Sports affiliate. But me and my buddy Kenny, we've gone there a few times. I haven't gotten it on video. But we've gone to Kansas City a few times, and even after going to the NASCAR race, the last time we went back in 2020, and even the time I stayed in Kansas City right before that in June and July, when I was coming back from Denver, I stopped there and ate at the Ice House. I don't remember. I had some steak nachos or whatever. Everything else was shut down just because of COVID, but Power and Light District, which I called Bricktown a few years ago on ranking my favorite bar hopping locations. Bricktown is in Oklahoma City. But Power and Light District, one of my favorite attractions, one of the best places to go bar hop. Broadway in Nashville. Broadway in Nashville is my favorite bar hopping place. I've been there. I've been to Nashville twice. I've gone through Broadway once. Me and my buddy Kenny were coming back from Atlanta back in 2015 to go see his son, which I've said this all on video before. We got to Nashville, driving through, and we're like, we need to stay here tonight, and because this just looks cool. You have bar on top of bar on top of bar for a good solid radius, and it's like, there must be 100 bars in that area. So we bar hopped the area, and it was, so I've never been to Bourbon Street, New Orleans, but I don't think it's better than Broadway. Even, I haven't gone there, but I would guarantee it's probably not better than Broadway in Nashville. The second time I went with my buddy Tim. It was during the NFL draft back in 2019. We were gonna go down to Broadway, but there was just way too many people. My buddy Tim was too tired to go down there, and I didn't want to go by myself and wait a couple hours for an Uber. So I didn't end up going, but eventually one of these days I'll make my way back there and get a walking tour on video. The Las Vegas Strip. This could arguably be my favorite bar hopping area, along with Broadway, just because I love the Las Vegas Strip. Me and my brother went out there back in 2016. This was before I was doing videos. I wish I had been doing YouTube videos at that time. Like I've said, we were gonna travel out to California, but we didn't end up making it that far, obviously. I live here in Northwest Arkansas. But we went to Vegas. Excuse me. And we walked down the Strip for 2 nights, and the different themings of the hotels and casinos, it's a spectacle that is unparalleled to other places I've been. It's just a grand spectacle, and it's cool to see. Some lady bumped into my brother while we were walking down the Strip with our tall boys, and he ended up spilling a little bit of beer on her, and she thought it was the worst thing ever. And my brother's mouthing off to her, like, Tyler, don't get us into a fight on the Las Vegas Strip. But, and I told my brother, I said, before we got there, I said, I've been watching videos, a little hack that I've learned through watching videos. What are they? Waitresses, bartenders, they'll bring free beer if you're playing at the slots. So play at the dollar machine. You have to tip them at least $1, or they won't come back. So you can have a good night out, drink 12 beers, play on a penny machine. $13. And I got to eat at the only White Castle in the western part of the United States, which y'all know me. I love White Castle. It's my favorite fast food place. And they serve alcohol. But the Las Vegas Strip, definitely a place I want to go back to one of these days. Six Flags Over Texas. My second favorite amusement park. I've been there a number of times. I want to eventually get a walk around, like I've done about Silver Dollar City, which it's time for me to do another walk around of Silver Dollar City, because I think I did my first walk around of Silver Dollar City back in 2019. I think that was my first trip I took. But Six Flags Over Texas, it's probably my second favorite amusement park. It has my favorite roller coaster. I had a season pass back in 2019. It was a couple of years ago. It was a bring a friend free weekend for season pass holders. The first trip me and my buddy Tim took, my co-host on a couple of my videos, we went to Six Flags Over Texas and rode Titan, my favorite roller coaster. Sat in line for like 45 minutes to ride Texas Giant. I've rode both, old Texas Giant and the remodeled new Texas Giant. Elbowed Dad in the face when we were going around a corner when I was a kid on Texas Giant. But me and my buddy Tim, we didn't end up riding Texas Giant because the line never moved. They must have been having problems or something, but Six Flags Over Texas, it's always it's a commercialized theme park at this point, but it's always a fun theme park. It's got the coasters I like: Batman, Titan, Texas Giant, Shockwave. It's got everything I could want. I'll eventually, like I said, do a walk around one of these days of Six Flags Over Texas. The Route 66 attractions. Anybody that knows me knows Route 66, I want to eventually do the complete route. That's a bucket list for me. The attractions that I've seen on Route 66, I have to bundle them together because by themselves, they're not like the Gemini Giant. I wouldn't say that's the best thing I've ever seen. But collectively together, the couple things that I've seen on Route 66 that make up probably the best attract on this list. The best attraction, ranking wise. I wouldn't say it's what I've seen on Route 66 so far. I wouldn't say it's the best attraction that I've seen, but it makes the list. I've seen the Gemini Giant, Lucille's, the Mother of the Mother Road, Pops Arcadia, which I still have the 6-pack. I'll be right back. Remember these from a few years ago? Caramel apple, dirt soda. I drank all these, by the way, a few years ago, but I've kept the bottles. Coffee soda, Red Hot, my personal favorite, Barf soda, and then, like I said a few years ago, back in 2020, I just had to get some Fitz's cream soda, and my Route 66 magnet that I got there at Pops Arcadia. But yeah, the Gemini Giant, which I walked underneath back in 2019, I believe, whenever me and my buddy Tim went up to Chicago. And then in 2020, I did a trip through Oklahoma. Got a few stops on Route 66 in Oklahoma. Got Pops Arcadia, Lucille's, the Mother of the Mother Road, and the Round Barn. So collectively, those 4 spots, Route 66 attractions makes the list of my favorite attractions. The St. Louis Arch. I went up to the St. Louis into the St. Louis Arch up to the top as a kid, and I visited there a couple times. Other than that, my bladder needs to be open. I don't like heights, but the St. Louis Arch, as a kid, going up into it was worth seeing. And I've visited there a couple times since then. even back when they were under construction, redoing everything. The St. Louis Arch is just, it's an impressive feat of man-made it's just a impressive man-made structure. Garden of the Gods. Garden of the Gods. My buddy Tim had been telling me for a couple years in Colorado Springs that if I'm ever out in that area, I need to go look at that. Go see that, because it's very impressive. I was blown away back in 2020. Whenever I was going through Colorado, went into Colorado Springs and it ended up going into Denver. I was blown away by the Garden of the Gods. All these rock formations and everything. I tell everybody, if you go to Colorado Springs, you need to go to Garden of the Gods, because it's something you're only going to see once in your lifetime. It's a one-of-a-kind thing. Like I've said, I've even showed videos looking out my hotel, out the balcony of my hotel. I had Pikes Peak right out the balcony of my hotel. But every time I wanted to go there, it had rain clouds over the peak of it. So I only got to see Garden of the Gods. I didn't get to see Pikes Peak. I did go in the same Walmart that my buddy Tim worked at back in the 90s, which was pretty cool. That was right next door to my hotel. But Garden of the Gods, I wouldn't mind seeing again and getting a walk around video one of these days. If I had to rank my favorite attractions I've ever been to, this next one would probably be number one. The Grand Canyon. Been there twice. First time I went, I was 10 years old, 99. We were coming back from my uncle's house in San Francisco, bringing a U-Haul back. We flew out there, got a bunch of stuff that my grandpa's mom had, and we were bringing a bunch of it back from my great uncles in San Francisco over Thanksgiving. We stayed in Flagstaff, and it snowed overnight, and so we carefully went to the Grand Canyon that next day. The most beautiful pictures of the Grand Canyon, in my opinion, which I still have, are after of it being snowy. I went back on the same trip that me and my brother took to Vegas, and we hiked down to the bottom, both carrying, like I've said, both carrying 2 jugs of water. I got half a gallon going down, a gallon and a half coming back up. We see this lady just have a heat stroke because it was 1st of August. Not the best time to go up and down the Grand Canyon. But we stayed in Flagstaff, which I want to go bar hop that city one of these days, because downtown looks like a good bar hopping spot. But the Grand Canyon, it is just so magnificent, so beautiful. It's just like the sheer impressiveness is awesome. It's probably my favorite attraction I've ever been to because it's just so impressive and awesome. I can't compare it to anything else. Silver Dollar City, the amusement park that I've probably been to, 50 times maybe. I go to at least twice a year, at least. The last several years before now, I haven't been there this year, but this past several years before this, I went at least 4 or 5 times a year. It is my favorite amusement park, even more than Six Flags Over Texas. It is my go-to. Branson, Missouri, in general, is my go-to travel destination. Silver Dollar City, it's where I will go to because it's 100 miles from home. It's where I grew up going to for a quick family vacation. And it's got everything I need. Branson, Missouri in general. But Silver Dollar City has my second favorite roller coaster, Wildfire, that I've rode at least 100 times. It's got Fire in the Hole, which this year is the last year Fire in the Hole is operating. I've had many memories at Silver Dollar City up to this point and hope to make many more. But Silver Dollar City is one of the best attractions I've ever been to. Duck Commander in Monroe, Louisiana. For those that don't know, the Duck Commander is where the warehouse, they have the show Duck Dynasty. They film a lot of stuff they filmed. It's obviously not going anymore, but they filmed a lot of the show at that warehouse. And that's where this show is based out of, Monroe, Louisiana. Back in 2019, I took the tour. Finally got to take the tour. It was a bucket list destination for me to go to the Duck Commander. I got to take the tour. Didn't get to do any videos because they didn't allow videos being taken. But they showed a lot of different stuff that was used in the show. They showed the duck call room, Willie's office, a lot of stuff like that, and it was pretty cool to see. I mean, that was, like I said, it was a bucket list destination for me to go see because I love that show. Which I didn't get to get a video of the tour, but I do have a video on my YouTube channel of being there at the warehouse. That's another video if y'all want to go back to 2019 and check that out. I've got that video. It's on my channel. But lastly, let's end the 15 favorite attractions I've had. Probably I would rank this attraction probably in my top 5. I don't know where I would rank any of these attractions, but this one I know I would rank it in the top 5. Like I said with the Grand Canyon, I would rank it number 1 probably. but I would probably rank this one maybe number 2. The Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs. I've been to the Crescent Hotel numerous times. Got it on video twice over the last several years. I wish I still had my old razor because I got a little girl's voice in the men's bathroom. Back in the 70s, the bathrooms were flipped. The men's restroom was the women's restroom, and a little girl passed away in what is now the men's restroom, and a hippie passed away in what is now the women's restroom. I got a little girl's voice when I was doing EVP on the Ghost Tour back in 2008. No lie. I always get these vibes when I go to the Crescent Hotel. You know, the spirits and everything that are lurking around. But the Crescent Hotel is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite places to go to. It's just I love that kind of stuff. So it's just I love going there. I would love to one of these days spend a night there. Get some ghostly action on footage or something, you know. And I would love to go take the tour and get it on video. But the Crescent Hotel, it's just oddly satisfying for me whenever I go there. It's satisfying for me anytime I go there. But that is my 15 favorite attractions I've been to of all time. If you're new here, please feel free to hit that subscribe button after the video to stay notified on all my current and future whereabouts. And if you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up. Lets me know you care. As always, this is Road Trip Nate saying bye from the gossip. Till next time, Road Trippers.